water charges. I got elected with the big campaign in Dublin 12, the anti-bin tax campaign in 2004, onto the council. And that's one of the reasons why I have continuously voted against the estimates, because it has the bin tax in the estimates, and I do not support it. People elected me in that issue, and I'll never move away from that. Was my promise in relation to the campaign, and I keep my promise from that point of view. And we will vigorously oppose the water tax. The fact that 800 kilometres of our pipes is nearly over 80 years old, up to 100 years old, is not being fixed. The resources aren't being put in other areas where we can create more jobs to fix our underground water pipes. And we do pay for water. We pay it through the VAT that's supposed to be given to our local authorities, and whose funding has been cut by central government, and that's one of the reasons why councils are the councils aren't being forced. We have decisions and choices to make, but why the manager has been able to drive through some of these issues. So we'll resist, absolutely resist, with the community against water charges and property taxes.
Okay, it's a pity though when Joan tells people not to pay their bin charges, that it ends up that the taxpayer who does pay for the bin charges is subsidising to the tune of 15 million euros those who are on the waiver. Now, I'm all in favour of the waiver, but I don't think when you campaign against people who have to pay a charge, who ultimately benefit the poorer of our society, and then you go and vote against estimates, it just doesn't follow logically. Can I just say, I'm opposed to water charges, and I think there is a phenomenal plan for the creation of which could be self-financing, a magnificent project to bring the water from the Shannon to an artificial lake in the Midlands, which will be a massive tourist resort. And then we service not just the city, but all the other counties from it. Water, as one woman earlier said, is a very important and key issue. And this project is a capital project that we should progress, I think, as part of our jobs incentive scheme.
I'm in favour of water charges, and explain why. Essentially, the supply and demand situation for water in Dublin City is very fine. We've gone through 2 periods now where we haven't had water supply in this city, which is totally ridiculous in this day and age. There are situations where water pressure is very low on an ongoing basis. Now, you can argue about the water loss, but the water losses have actually been halved in Dublin City. They're down to 28%, so it's not a huge amount more. In fact, that can be done, theoretically, can come down to 20. So if we introduce a charge, there will be a conservation element. People will reduce usage by about 15%. And clearly, in introducing a charge, it's not that everybody will pay. You can have a certain amount of free water, so a significant number of people will pay nothing. So if a single person living alone basically will pay nothing, but if there's a family situation or somebody has 3 power showers, well, then they will pay. That's the sort of situation. That is what Fine Gael are proposing. As it happens, I personally agree with that. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have. I would have taken the view of the lady, the rain is free, why are we paying for the water? I'm afraid it's not as simple as that.
Water charges, I think we may ultimately have to pay for water. I think it may be imposed by Europe. But I think if we are going to pay for water, then we need, the opposite side to that, again, is proper, accountable local government. We're in a city that doesn't seem to plan 10, 15, 20 years in the future. Why are we facing a water shortage in a city like Dublin? Did nobody see that 15, 20 years into the future, the population would go up, so we'd need to build another reservoir? We've also got a chronic shortage of maternity hospital beds. Why does nobody in this city, surely other cities grow, surely they can see this 10, 15, 20 years into the future.
The Green Party is in favour of water charges. Every day, 260 of these bottles of water go down the toilet on behalf of each and every person in this room. We can't be doing that. There's a lot of water out there's a lot of rain, but still, we need to find ways of cutting down our water usage, using the rainwater, harvesting the rainwater. Your toilet doesn't need drinking water, and the best way to do that is to have a charge so that the people who waste water, who wash their car with water every few days and who leave taps running and all the rest of it, that they pay, and that the people are sensible. don't.
In relation to water charges, there is a number of campaigns. I have a website myself which I contribute to Say No to Water Charges. It is absolutely ridiculous that we are being asked to pay another tax, because that's what it is. And the Labour Party, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil and the Green Party all support the introduction of a water charge, despite the fact that last year 390
Can I just a point of information, record that the Labour Party do not support. I mean, we have to have factual, correct statements.
Okay.
Here.
In fact, Eric, you need to read your own
and I think,
manifesto.
I think if you listen to Eamon Gilmore, you'll know exactly what he said.
You need to read your own manifesto.
Okay.
390 million was not spent last year by local authorities, which was to be invested in water pipes to ensure that there wasn't leakage. We already pay. It's not free. We already pay through direct taxation.
Water charges. Well, I think people should have a certain amount of water free each. I do believe we're used to it. I think we're entitled to it. It's one of our little luxuries, for want of a better phrase. But after that minimum, I would support a charge. But I think everyone should have a minimum reasonable usage, and if they go over that usage, they should pay.